Okay, on this next one, we're asking what number is 3.5% of 0.4? Okay, we're not going to worry about this. Simply, what number is 3? All right, so what number? That's my A, is my what number is 3.5%. I need to put that in decimal point form, 0.035. I converted 3.5% to a decimal times 0.4. Let's get my calculator up here. 0.035 times 0.4 equals 0.014. That's my answer. A equals 0.014. So my answer is 0.014. What number is 3.5% or 3.5% of 0.4? 0.014. All right, let's look at another one. Sometimes they might be worded just a little bit differently. Like this last one, it's the same type of problem, but it's just giving you the P and B on the left side. 35% of 500 is what number? So, all right, 35%, 0.35 of 500, so 0.35 times 500 is what number? So my A is actually on the right side, doesn't matter. 0.35 times 500, so I would say 0.35 times 500. Give me another 0 equals 175, so 175 equals A. But the question is 35% of 500 is what number? The answer is 175. Ooh, gosh. I'm going to mark through that and just write a big 175 there. How's that? All right, let's look at some more of these. When we solve for P, look at this. 30 is what percent of 95? Now, look at this. 30 is, so my is my equal sign, is what percent? So I'm looking for P of 95. So my B is 95. What am I going to have to do here? Just a little bit of algebra, you could say. I'm just going to divide both sides by 95. All right, 30 divided by 95. And why do I do that? So these 95s will cancel out. 30 over 95 equals P. So now I've got to get my calculator out and say, well, 30 divided by 95 equals 0.3157. I'm going to round this to 4 decimal places. 0.3158. So let's say 0.3158 equals P. I'm not finished yet. It says what percentage? I've got to convert 0.3158 to a percentage, so I'm going to move that decimal place 2 places to the right. My answer will be 31.58%. So 31.58%. 30 is 31.58% of 95. So we nailed it. Okay, let's look at the next one. Here's one that sometimes gets students confused. 60 is what percent of 30? Remember, 60 is, so there's my equal sign, what percent of 30? Now, same way as the one before, I'm going to divide both sides by 30 to get the p on a side by itself. The 30s cancel. And I get 60 over 30 is 2 equals p. But remember, we're asking for percentage. And 2, I've still got to convert that to a percentage. So there's the 2. There's my decimal. I've got to move it 2 places to the right. So I need to insert 2 zeros. I made a smiley face. So my answer is 200%. 200%. Think about it. 60 is 200% of 30 because I have to multiply 30 times 2 to get 60. Some people get confused and say, well, that's 50%. No, 60 is what percent of 30? 60 is 200% of 30. Now, if they said 30 is what percent of 60, that would, of course, be 50%. Let's look at this last one. Okay, on this last one, it says 0.657 is what percent of 0.845? All right, let's set it up. 0.657 is, that's my equal sign, what percent? So P of 0.845. I'm going to get my calculator out on this one because you know what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to say 0.657 divided by 0.845 equals, woo, look at that. That looks like I got 3 7s and a 5. I'm going to move this over to the side. So what did I do? I divided both sides by 0.845. Of course, these over here will cancel. And I divided 0.657 by 0.845, and I got, I'm going to round this to 4 decimal places, 0.7775 equals P. Don't forget, I got to move my decimal places and convert it to a percentage. So I'm going to get 77.75%. I'm getting a little better on my writing there, but not much. All right, let's look at the third type of these. The third type of these is when we solve for B. Look at this first question. 15 is 30% of what number? 15 is, so 15 equals, oh shoot, where's my eraser? Kind of messed that up. 15 is 30%. Remember, I got to put that in decimal form. 0.30 of what number? I'm looking for B, so I'm going to divide both sides by 0.30. $15 divided by, I've got my calculator on the side here now, by 0.3 equals 50. So that's going to be my answer. Those cancel out. 15 divided by 0.3 is 50. So what number is 30? 15 is 30% of what number? Well, 15 is 30% of 50. Think about it. If you multiplied 0.3 times 50, you would get 15. Let's look at this next one now. Let's see if I can pull my eraser out. Erase this and do the next one. All right. The next one says 15.7% of what number is 314. They've simply swapped the equation, but it's still the same type of problem. 15.7%. All right, so I got to put that in decimal form. 0.7 15.17, 15.7% in decimal form of what number? B is 314, all right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to divide both sides. I'm getting that B by itself. I'm going to divide both sides by 0.157. These will cancel. Let me do this on my calculator over here. 314 divided by 0.157 equals 2,000 exactly. So B equals 2,000. So my answer to this one, 15.7% of what number is 314? 2,000. Nailed it. Let's look at this final one. Let's see if I can pull my eraser out here again. Kind of fun to do that. All right. The last one is 0.65 is 3% of what number? Again, is my equal sign. So 0.65 is 3.5%. Remember, I got to put that in decimal form, so that'll be 0.035 is, all right, of what number? So that's my B. I'm going to divide both sides by 0.035. Divide 0.65 by 0.035. These will cancel. All right, where's my calculator here? All right, 0.65 divided by 0.035 equals, I get 18.57 rounded to 2 decimal places there, so 18.57 equals B. So there's my answer to the last one. Easy enough. Like I said, there's other percentage type problems that you'll see in your homework and you might see on the quiz or the final exam. Let's take a look at this. If you get a 30% discount on a television that cost $800 normally, what is your discount and what is the cost after the discount? All right, 30% of 800. So that's 800 times 30% or 800 times the decimal form of 30%. So 800 times 30%. What does that give us? That equals $240. So that is my discount. My discount would be $240. What is the cost after the discount? I would need to say 800 minus 240. And no, I'm not including tax or anything here. But 800 minus 240 is $560. So that would be my cost after the discount. Let's look at another one of these. If 32% of a class of 50 students submitted their assignment on time, how many students submitted their assignment on time? 32% of, so 32% times 50, I'm going to put it in decimal form, 0.32 times 50 would equal 16. So 16 students, how many students submitted their assignment on time? 16. All there is to it.